Wait, this isn't a bike channel. It's a home gym channel. I know, but Rogue came out with a bicycle. Yeah, like a pedal bike. Not a Rogue Echo bike. They actually came out with a bike. The Rogue Milo. Is it worth it? Kind of depends. You want to know what I mean? Stick around. Okay, so about the bike. The bike used to be $1,495. They've lowered it to $995 to make it much more comparable. This bike is made in the United States of America. Some of the components aren't USA components necessarily, but the frame is 100% chromoly steel, manufactured in the United States. It's a single speed, which just means it only goes one speed, which is kind of expensive for $995, but I'll show you some comparables. It is not only a single speed, it's not chain driven. The drivetrain is a belt drive. Let's talk about that. Why have a belt drive over a chain driven system? Belt drive does a couple things really, really well. Number one, super smooth ride. Okay, so this is going to provide a really nice and smooth ride. Number two, there's no mess. You don't have to oil it. You don't have to tighten the chain. It's just boom, there it is. And number three is it's going to last longer. Typically belt drives, the belt's going to last 3 to 5 times longer than a chain. It won't stretch. It won't tighten. In fact, it's just going to be there for the life of the actual belt until you have to replace it. And again, 3 to 5 times longer than a chain. Some of the negatives of the chain drive, number one, it's more expensive. So I'm glad Rogue went with this, even though it is more expensive. It made the bike a little bit more expensive. But for what I think the bike's purpose is, I think it was a good call. Because this is kind of a commuter get on and go bike. It's an overbuilt, Rogue fashion, single speed bike that anybody can get on and just go. It's 30 pounds. The thing weighs 30 pounds, actually a little bit more than 30 pounds. So it's like this overbuilt little tank that's easy to ride. The geometry is very straight up and down, and I'll show you some outdoor footage of some of my other bikes to let you know what I mean. But very comfortable bike. It's got 29-inch wheels, so it's got big wheels with really nice tires. So these Maxxis hookworm tires are really good for rural riding, for off-road. They're also good for urban riding, for riding on the road, for riding on cement, and they're oversized. Again, kind of typical Rogue fashion that they take just a simple idea of a get on and go single speed, make it 100% chromoly steel instead of aluminum, overbuild it like crazy, and just make it tough. So 29-inch wheels. Let's look at some comparables. Let's go outside, take a peek. Okay, so just give you an idea. This is, sadly, this is only about a third of the bikes I own. But here is the Rogue Milo. Notice 29-inch tires. That's a medium frame. They do offer small, medium, large, and extra large. Notice the geometry. You're going to be sitting nice and straight, which is nice for comfort. This bike, on the other hand, this is a custom Calfee, which was made here in California. It's carbon fiber. It's about a third of the weight of the Milo. It's made for speed. It's not made for comfort. But the reason I wanted to show you these is so, like, you'll notice with the 29-inch tires on the Rogue Milo, something like a big flyer, same thing, 29-inch tires. The geometry is set in such a way it's made for comfort. They're very comparable bikes. I know Rogue markets their bike as more of a commuter, not a BMX style bike. And with the handlebars, yeah, I get it. But it's a very similar bike to like a 29-inch BMX style bike. Here's another 29-inch BMX style bike. Again, straight up geometry for comfort. compared to like a 29-inch mountain bike, which is going to be not quite as straight up there. 27 and a half, 24, and then all the way down to 20-inch. So in terms of size, a good comparable, if a guy did want to save some money and just have a fun bike to get out and go, you could get something like a big Flyer. That's about a $600 bike. You could even go cheaper and get something like a GT for even half that. There's pros and cons. This is 100% steel, chromoly steel, where something like that's going to be aluminum. So anyway, yeah, sadly, that's just a third of my bikes. Barbell problem, bike problem. Okay, so who is this bike for? This is where it comes down to, do I recommend this bike or do I not? And it really depends on who this bike is for. As you saw outside, I have a lot of bikes, and that's not even all my bikes. I have 30 bikes, okay? 30. Yeah. So I have a barbell problem, I have a bike problem. I talked about that. So I have a lot of bikes, and I love riding bikes. And I started out when I was a little kid riding BMX bikes, loved it to death. Then I got older, I got a driver's license, I could care less about a bike. Then I got even older than that, and then I started to road biking. And road biking's fun because you can go long distances, you can climb over mountains, and you can see all sorts of terrain. And I live in California, so you can go down the coast, you can go down Highway 1. Really, really cool. Then I got into bike touring. Bike touring where you actually have a front rack and a bike rack. I had a Trek 520. I recently sold it. But you can pack your tent, you can pack everything. 100% steel, just like this bike, and you can just go. Then I got into this phase in my life where I just wanted to get on a bike without having to put on funny shoes and put on a bike jersey and put on weird spandex and do all that. I just wanted to get on a bike and be able to go and get exercise. And I started to get back into BMX bikes because there's all sorts of sizes of BMX bikes. Like I showed outside, you got the little ones with the 20-inch tires all the way up to these new big rippers that have 29-inch tires, just like a mountain bike. And I also forgot I mountain bike too, but the nice thing about a bike like this is it fits that. You can just get on it and go. I can be dressed like I'm dressed now. I don't have to put any crazy stuff on. I just get on and I ride super comfortable, and it will really go anywhere. I mean, it's a single speed, so you're not going to be climbing a mountain. Or if you do, you're going to have to be in very good shape. But for just riding around getting exercise, this bike is perfect for that. You can go down curbs, you can go on gravel. I've taken this, I got about 200 miles on this bike since I bought it. I've taken it on all sorts of terrain. I've taken it on dirt roads, I've taken it on single track mountain bike roads, I've taken it on really soft rock. I call it like kind of the rock you see by a railroad track where it's almost like quicksand. It's not compact. And so your bike just kind of smooshes into the rock. Really hard stuff to ride in. This does really well because it's such a big, like just big tires, and it's very stiff. So if you just want a bike to get on and go, that's going to last you forever, that's really no thrills, and there's no maintenance, this is a really cool bike you may want to check out. But it's $995. So there are cheaper options if you want that type of bike. So it's important to know that. You can go get like a big ripper that I showed outside for cheaper than this. Some of the big rippers are actually more expensive than this, but depends on what you're looking for. You can also get a 29-inch BMX. There's all sorts of, it doesn't have to be a big ripper. There's all sorts of styles out there for these BMX style 29-inch bikes. You can get for $300 and get on and go. So think about that. If you're looking for a bike to get some exercise on and just have really a lot of fun riding around on, you can do it a lot cheaper than this. But the benefit of this bike, if it's important that it's USA made, that's important to me. It's not the be all end all. Most of my bikes are not American made, but this bike fits that. Also, the fit and finish on this bike is really, really good. The powder coat, super nice. The welds, super nice. The guy that designed this, and I'm glad Rogue did this, Stinner Frameworks in Santa Barbara. So Rogue, I'm glad they didn't just decide one day, we're just going to design a bike and with no experience, and we hope it's okay. They went and they got an expert in the field, and Stinner Frameworks, that guy builds all sorts of custom bikes he knows what he's doing. I've checked them out before. There's a lot of really nice, really talented bike builders in California and really across the country, but he did a really nice job. And if you look at the welds, I mean, the welds are just beautifully done. In fact, I thought they were laser welded like some machine, but they're not. They're hand welded, and they are so nice. And like I said, the powder coat's beautiful. I love the all black. The chain guard, which is actually a belt guard because this doesn't have a chain, is a nice look. That actually was the hardest thing to put together when I got this. So when the package came, Rogue style, very well packaged. It was very easy to put together. All I had to do was add the handlebars, put the tires on, and add the chain guard, and it was ready to go. Chain guard was kind of a pain in the butt to add. A couple quick things. The two bottle holders, they do not come with the bike, but there is holes for two different sets of bottle holders, which is nice. So I added two. Also the seat I have right here is a Brooks saddle, made in England. It's 100% leather. It's like $130, $150 saddle. I can't remember what it is. It's expensive. I put this on myself because I already had one laying around, and it's my favorite seat. I mean, this thing will form to your butt. The actual leather will form. So, but the one it comes with is fine, but it doesn't come with this one. Like I said, the tires are really well done. The grips here, they actually have a little knurl pattern like you'd see on a barbell. And I noticed that, and then I watched one of their videos, and they said they did that on purpose. So that's a nice little touch with the grips. The actual drivetrain, the belt-driven drivetrain's gate, it's solid. When you're looking at the price of a bike, the frame is going to cost, a big chunk of what the bike is, but what really can drive up or lower the price of a bicycle are the components. And so that's why you'll see, if you go to your local bike store, you'll see a Trek that's $800 road bike, and then you'll see one that's $5,600, and they look pretty much the same. You might go, I wonder, why do those look pretty much the same? Well, the difference in price typically outside of the frame, because you can have everything from carbon fiber to aluminum, but it's the components. So the drivetrain makes it a little more expensive, but they could have gone really cheap and made it a belt-driven drivetrain, but they didn't. Gates is reputable. Also has disc brakes. So overall, man, this thing is fun to ride. It's fun to ride. It's stiff. It's stiff because it's 100% chromoly steel. Aluminum's going to have a little more give. I prefer steel because it lasts forever. Even aluminum's plenty tough. 100% chromoly. Aluminum you'll get dings in it, and you'll be able to see the dings in the frame. Where this type of chromoly steel, man, it's like a tank. This thing is meant to be ridden, and meant to be ridden hard. This thing is meant to not be babied. If you're getting a bike to baby it, get something cheaper. This is meant to be ridden really, really hard. Couple things I don't like about the bike, and there's not much. One is the price. I think it's a tough swallow at $995, but I think Rogue's thinking, and they have a point, at $1,500, I think it's just too expensive. So I'm glad they lowered the price. But at $995 for an American-made, single-speed, belt-driven bike that's 100% chromoly steel, that's got disc brakes, with good tires, solid rims, you know, the wheel set solid. That's what bikes cost, man. I've seen some comments. People are like, "That's way too expensive." Go look. I mean, if you want a piece of junk, you can get a lot cheaper. But that's what a good bike costs. And I have an American-made bike you can get for under $1,000. That's a pretty decent deal. So the price, I kind of don't like it because it seems really expensive. But it's the way of the bike world, man. Bikes are expensive now. The other thing I do not like, and probably the number one thing I do not like about this bike, is if you look at the Milo, they put a sticker where the Milo is. Rogue, they put a sticker. You can feel the sticker. It's going to peel off. It would have been really cool if they could have done the Milo and the Rogue kind of like they do on their Cerakote bars, where, I don't know if you can see it, I'll have to do some B-roll, but where they have Rogue, you know, on the middle of their Cerakote bars, where it's actually painted on, and they could have done it with the Milo. That would have been a nice touch. Probably price is why they didn't do it, but I hate stickers, and they do have those stickers, and they're just going to come off. So that's not a functional thing, but at the same time, being such a nice bike, gosh, I wish they wouldn't have done stickers. So overall, do I recommend it? Like I said, it depends. Depends what you're looking for. But if you want a really high quality bike that you can just get on and go, that's going to be good on gravel, it's going to be good on roads, it's going to be good in town, it's going to be good to commute on, it's going to be just good to go out and get some exercise on, that literally will be zero maintenance. There's no tightening the chain, adjusting the chain, there's no oiling, just get on and go. This might be a bike for you. So, yes, this is bike number 30 for me now. Could this be one of your bikes? I don't know. Check it out. I'll do a review down the road because I've only put about 200 miles on it to let you know how it's going in a year or two. But until then, man, let me know what you think. $995 too much for a single speed? What do you think? What are some better options? All right. Hit the like button. Please subscribe. And until next time, adios.